One moment, please.
Yeah, go.
Organize now.
I think it's more fun to talk about personal stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't talk about personal stuff.
Not personal stuff.
No, fuck personal
Okay,
stuff.
education then. I've got one. I'm very pessimistic, and you seem optimistic, right? Okay, that's great. Every child knows.
Let's say that again.
Every child knows.
Okay, Martin
Every
is very
child.
pessimistic and I'm very optimistic. I'm not.
You're not optimistic.
Well, I think we got kind of hair that could save us.
Here.
Well, it hangs on a thread.
Okay. Okay, so we're trying to save the world here, right?
Did we sort that out earlier?
Yeah, okay. So anyway, every child knows when something's not fair. It's a basic human value which education, its most instrumental and vicious, manages to crush out of us. It pulverizes our ability to paint or to tell stories or to make music.
Well, so that's Royal College of Music down the plug, it was an art school in the UK down the plug. What rubbish. Education is source of all wealth, it's just you maybe had an unfortunate experience.
That's
and
my
it should
experience
actually
with
help
education.
you overhaul. I mean, most poor countries hold education in really high esteem. You know, like the wealth of a country is educated population kind of thing. And you know, you educate people and you open a kind of Pandora's box in their head, hopefully, that you give them curiosity to carry on educating themselves for the rest of their life, their lives. I mean, they say, you know, if you stop learning, you die. I mean, this is what we should be doing. It's a continuous process, a lifetime. Don't you think?
Yeah, I did think that, but I just, from my experience of education, was not probably.
What happened? Were you
So
really
good.
naughty or just bloody minded?
Yeah, I was naughty. No, I was just like in a big comprehensive school. Just didn't like it.
So there was nothing that
But
interested
even
you?
my son's at school here in Baldamosa, and I think he's kind of just taught to be obedient. He's taught when he's allowed to play, when he has to sit down. When he's
You know what they say, don't you? It's
It's
not
just-
the school, it's the teacher. It's not the teacher, it's the parent. It's your fault.
It's a sin.
Yeah, come on. You should be a bit more positive at home.
Maybe.
Go on, hit me.
Okay, is it possible to make the world a fairer place?
Yeah, I think that human beings are 98% good. 99% good. 99% of them are good. Just need to be able to represent ourselves and claim our voice.
We have to encourage the good in people.
Yeah, and empower it
Yeah.
by voting.
By voting. For who? Jeremy Corbyn? Bernie Sanders? Tony Benn?
Love them.
Is there any contemporary politicians that you respect?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Is that, where's she?
She's American, she's a Democrat, she's
Oh, yeah.
like progressive.
New
The
York.
progressives, yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Ilhan Omar. There's loads of young women actually, which is marvellous. You know, the young women are coming up as a really strong force. Yeah, progressives.
That's
And
good.
Americans are amazing because when they're good, they're really good. And how they do their grassroots voter kind of electrification is fantastic. We need to take classes, I think, because they do seem to be able to activate the communities, get people out to vote, and people like Stacey Abrams, who kind of missed being governor of Georgia. She was absolutely incredible, and she's like three human beings piled into one. She's such a force of nature.
Good, that's good news. There's some people out there worth voting for.
Yeah, where have you been?
Valdemosa?
That explains a lot.
Okay, I'm jumping all over the place. Anyway, for me, I think capitalism has eaten its own tail, right? And the crisis is the best catalyst for change. So maybe societies will soon be more open to different ways of living. And I think that we've touched on this. Indigenous culture is where the answers lie, I think.
What, so you just believe in low tech?
Yeah.
I think low tech, high tech.
But I think instead of looking forward for the answers, maybe we should look back.
You sure about that?
I'm not sure about anything.
I think you've got to mix both. I mean, we're sort of looking at agriculture around where we are, and it's terrifying because they're still selling Roundup. And I thought Roundup was banned in Spain. And I went into the local shop and I said, look, what the fuck are you doing selling Roundup? And he says, but Mallorca is different. And it's hideous stuff. I mean, it's associated with 31 different diseases, including kidney failure and Hodgkin's lymphoma. I mean, that's the old way of gardening in Spain now, because the older generation was starting in the 50s when pesticides and herbicides first came in. So that's an example of kind of old culture, which is complete crap.
Okay.
I think you've got to mix the really old ways of pre-pesticide and chemical farming. You can look at that and you mix that with the latest understanding of what do they call the mushroom networks, the extraordinary new understanding of life actually below the soil that's going on. You should combine that, there are two of those. You could probably move forward into really exciting regenerative agricultural programs. But I mean, with politics, what would you go back? Well, you go back to ancient Greece, but then women weren't allowed to vote.
I was thinking even way further back.
What, Stone Age?
Yeah.
Exactly, so you get a good reception to this.
Okay, well, number 17 is the problem. The problem seems to be that most people concern themselves with private matters. They do not question the fundamental sources of their social, economic oppression, individually and collectively. The limits of common sense inhibit a person's intellectual perception of the exploitation of labour made possible with cultural hegemony. There's a kind of hierarchy. And the people...
What, that brainwashes you?
Yeah.
Well, it's all down to education, isn't it? You know, reading the right newspapers, going on the right sites, informing yourself, curiosity. And if they say, yeah, it's not, you know, it's something we need to be teaching our kids at home and our grandkids. You need to be more responsible, you need to take an active role. Because, I mean, you can't, that kind of been true under Franco, where people just plodded along, while people are being garroted in the olive groves.
But we're still haunted by these three guys, Franco, Mussolini, even Hitler. It seems to be we're still haunted right now by them.
But, you know, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar. We need to find a better way of doing things, that's for sure.
I kind of agree with everything you're saying. I'm just kind of trying to...
That's revolting.
What's revolting?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. You have to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
something to disruptive tactics. I can really see that. Yeah, I can read it. Yeah. Actually, it's the word I hate. And it sort of came into our vocabulary, and it was like the cool, groovy thing to do. It's like a kind of worshipping a wrecking ball. I don't know why we all thought disruptive was great, because it was like banking world, we talked about marvellous disruptive strategies, and it was just about making more money. It's a word that's just been kind of kidnapped and I think made meaningless. They're not disruptive, they're just more of the same, and just more of it for me. That was what it was about. that right? Yes, I'll fight you if you disagree with that.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Okay, it's fine, relax.
Well, can we talk about Palestine?
Which is heartbreaking,
Mm.
heartbreaking.
I just
Can't
got
believe it, the way that they slaughtered the left of the Labour Party by calling them anti-Semites, and the conflation between anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, and how it got swallowed whole, and nobody questioned it. There was nothing in the media saying this man, lost 47 members of his family in the Holocaust. He's not an anti-Semite, but by God, he's an anti-Zionist. I mean, was it Amnesty, the Hague, Israel's being condemned for war crimes? What they're doing is, it's horrific, because it's like a kind of macrocosm of the abused child becomes the abuser, because the Jewish nation had been through the most horrendous Holocaust, living under Hitler, that they're behaving now like Hitler.
They're using an excuse to do the same thing again?
Well, I don't know if they're using this as an excuse. I don't think they're telling their people. If you talk to Israelis, they don't seem to know a lot about what's going on. Normal citizens. But you've got Netanyahu back while he's still under corruption charges. What kind of fucking electorate is that? You'd want a crook to be the head of your government. It's mind-blowing. Something dreadful's going on, and the world's just literally whitewashing it and letting it happen. It's beyond iniquities. It's war crimes, it's genocide.
Yeah.